You feel it every single time you walk into a grocery store. You feel it every time you tap your card to pay for gas. You feel it right in the pit of your stomach when you look at rent prices in your city. You are working harder than your parents ever did, yet you own significantly less than they did at your age. The news tells you the economy is recovering. The politicians tell you that unemployment is low and everything is under control. Yeah, right. Because you know the truth. You can feel it. You are running on a treadmill that's speeding up every single day, and you are barely keeping up. You are postponing your life for someday, but someday keeps getting more expensive. You are not crazy. You are not just unlucky. You are being systematically, methodically, and intentionally robbed right now, at this very second, while you're watching this video. And the scariest part, you don't even know the names of the people doing it to you. Hello, I'm Vexo. I have spent the last 3 years obsessively analyzing the flow of money in the global economy to understand why is the middle class being wiped out. What I found didn't just scare me, it terrified me. But it also set me free, because once you see the strings, you can stop being a puppet. Today, I'm going to show you the mechanism of the trap. This is not conspiracy theory. This is cold, hard math. We are going to break down the stages of the great robbery, how your income is stolen, how asset prices are manipulated, and how your own psychology is weaponized against you. If you want to escape the cage, you first need to see the bars. To understand why you are broke, we have to go back in time. 1971. This is the year everything changed. Before this date, money was backed by gold. It was real. It was tangible. You couldn't just print more of it without finding more gold. It imposed discipline on the government. But in 1971, the gold standard was removed. The dollar became what we call fiat currency. Fiat means let it be done in Latin. It is money simply because the government says it is money. And this gave the central banks a superpower, the ability to print infinite amounts of cash out of thin air. Now, think about this critically. If you have a rare baseball card, it is valuable because there are only a few of them. If I suddenly print 1 billion copies of that exact same card and dump them on the market, what happens to the value of your card? Boom, it goes to zero. This is exactly what is happening to your salary. Every time they print $1 billion for a bailout, a stimulus check, or a war, they are stealing value directly from the dollars in your pocket. This theft is hidden under a boring technical term, inflation. They tell you it's just prices going up. That is a lie designed to confuse you. Prices are not going up. The value of your money is going down. It's a currency devaluation. Imagine you work 40 hours a week. You trade your life energy for a paycheck. You put that paycheck in the bank. Then the government prints more money, diluting the pool. Suddenly, your savings buy less food, less gas, less housing. You didn't lose the dollar bills, but you lost the power. Essentially, you worked those hours for free. Inflation is a hidden tax that no one voted for, but everyone pays. And the official numbers? Please, they are manipulated. The Consumer Price Index, or CPI, is a basket of goods that the government uses to measure inflation. But they constantly change the basket. If steak becomes too expensive, they swap it for hamburger meat. If hamburger meat becomes too expensive, they swap it for bugs. They rig the numbers to make it look like inflation is low, but you know the reality when you go to the supermarket. But here's the deeper mechanism that almost no one talks about. It's called the Cantillon Effect. When new money is printed, it doesn't get distributed to everyone equally. Oh no, it flows into the system from the top. The government and the big banks get the money first. They get to spend it while it still has its full purchasing power. They buy stocks, they buy real estate, they buy companies. As they spend this new money, prices start to rise. By the time this money trickles down to you in the form of your stagnant wages, prices have already skyrocketed. The elite get the benefit of the printing press. You get the bill. This is why the gap between the rich and the poor is exploding. It's not because they work harder, it's because they are closer to the money printer. Now, let's look at the asset trap. This system is designed to crush savers and reward asset owners. This is the part that schools intentionally failed you on. In school, you were told, work hard, save money, stay out of debt. That is the worst financial advice you could possibly follow in the modern era. Why? Because if money is losing value every year, saving it is like trying to hold water in your hands. It leaks out. The wealthy do not keep cash. They hate cash. Cash is a liability to them because it is melting ice. They take that cash and they immediately trade it for assets. Real estate, stocks, gold, Bitcoin, businesses, things that cannot be easily printed by a bureaucrat in a suit. Look at the housing market. Everyone complains that housing is unaffordable. They think it's a bubble. But what if it's not a bubble? What if houses are just repricing to reflect the true amount of worthless dollars in the system? A house is a hard asset. You cannot print a house. It takes labor, materials, and land. So when the dollar collapses, the price of the house in dollars goes up. The house didn't change. It's the same house, but it takes more of your worthless paper money to buy it. This is why the middle class is being turned into a permanent renter class. If you are saving cash to buy a house, you are chasing a moving target that is moving faster than you can run. By the time you save the down payment, the price has doubled. The only way to win is to own the asset, not the currency. Let's talk about the stock market. You see the S&P 500 hitting all-time highs, and you think, wow, the economy is booming. It's not. Companies aren't selling 10 times more products. The stock market is just another place where all that printed money ends up. It's asset inflation. If you own stocks, you are surfing the wave of inflation. If you don't own stocks, you are drowning under the wave. This creates a K-shaped recovery. The people at the top of the K, those with assets, go up. The people at the bottom, those with wages and cash savings, go down. And the middle class is simply disappearing into the abyss between them. Now, we need to address the most controversial tool in the rich man's toolkit: debt. You have been conditioned to fear debt. And yes, credit card debt at 25% interest is financial suicide. That is bad debt. It keeps you poor. It buys things that lose value, like clothes or electronics. But the rich, though, they love good debt. Good debt is when you borrow money to buy an asset that pays you. Imagine you borrow money to buy a rental property. The tenant pays the rent. That rent covers the debt payment. You own the asset. You control the appreciation, but you didn't use your own money to buy it. And here's the magic trick that the rich use to pay zero tax. It's called buy, borrow, die. When their assets go up in value, they don't sell them. If they sold them, they would have to pay capital gains tax. Instead, they go to the bank and say, look, I have $10 billion in stocks. Lend me $1 million cash using the stocks as collateral. The bank gives them the loan at a low interest rate. Now they have tax-free cash to live on. Why is it tax-free? Because debt is not income. It's a liability. You don't pay tax on a loan. So they live like kings using debt while their assets continue to grow. And because inflation destroys the value of the dollar, the debt becomes easier to pay off over time. This system is rigged to reward people who borrow money to buy assets, and it is rigged to punish people who work for wages. Let that sink in. So, why don't more people do this? Why is everyone stuck in the matrix? This brings us to stage 3, the mind. The system isn't just financial, it's psychological. The economy relies on you being a mindless consumer. Corporate marketing spends billions of dollars to brainwash you into thinking that buying stuff will make you happy. They manufacture insecurity. They tell you that you are not good enough unless you have the latest phone, the newest car, the branded clothes. This keeps you on the hamster wheel. You work a job you hate to buy things you don't need to impress people you don't like. As long as you are chasing dopamine hits from consumer spending, you will never have the capital to buy assets. You are trading your freedom for trinkets. They also rely on your fear. Investing feels risky. Buying a house feels risky. Starting a business feels risky. Do you know what's actually risky? Relying on a single stream of income from a corporation that views you as a line item on their spreadsheet. Putting your faith in a pension fund that is mathematically insolvent. Trusting that the government will take care of you in your old age. That is the ultimate risk, but society tells you that is the safe path. It is a lie. The safe path is the slow suicide of your financial future. We are entering a period of history that will be studied for centuries. The debt levels of the global government are mathematically impossible to pay back. We're talking about hundreds of trillions of dollars. There are only two ways this ends. Option A, the governments stop printing money, admit they are bankrupt, and the entire global financial system collapses. Option B, they keep printing money to pay the interest on the debt, devaluing the currency until it becomes worthless. History tells us over and over again that politicians will always choose option B. It is the path of least resistance. They will print until the end. This means we are likely heading for a period of high inflation for the next decade. So, what does this mean for you? It means the old playbook is dead. The advice your parents gave you, go to school, get a stable job, save 10%, is a roadmap to poverty. You cannot save your way to wealth when the currency is broken. You have to invest your way out. You need to become an owner. This doesn't mean you need millions to start. You can buy fractional shares. You can buy small amounts of Bitcoin. You can start a side business with zero capital using the internet. The barrier to entry has never been lower, but the noise has never been louder. You need to stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like a capitalist. A consumer sees $100 and thinks, what can I buy with this? A capitalist sees $100 and thinks, how can I make this into $200? You need to start building your own raft. Every dollar you move from cash into a hard asset is a soldier fighting for your freedom. Every dollar you waste on useless consumer garbage is a vote for your own slavery. The trap is comfortable. It is designed to be comfortable. It has heated seats, endless streaming services, and fast food delivery. But it is still a cage. And the door to that cage is open. It has always been open. You just have to be willing to walk out into the uncomfortable reality of building your own wealth. No one is coming to save you. The government is not your father. The bank is not your friend. The corporation you work for would replace you in a heartbeat. You are alone in this jungle, and that is a good thing. Because once you accept that you are alone, you accept that you are powerful. You have access to the same information as the billionaires. You can learn anything. You can build anything. The system counts on your passivity. It counts on you getting distracted by politics, by celebrity gossip, by the endless scroll of social media. They want you angry at your neighbor instead of angry at the central bank. Do not let them win. Focus on your resources. Focus on your assets. Focus on your sovereignty. The choice is yours right now. You can close this video, forget everything I just said, and go back to sleep. You can continue to trade your time, your most finite resource, for their infinite paper money. Or you can wake up. You can take responsibility. You can start playing the game by the real rules, not the fake ones they taught you in school. The door is open. No one is going to carry you through it. Your freedom is your job. Do not wait for rescue. Be your own rescue. Start acting. Start now.